No, what points? You have plenty of points. They're all there.
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is that?
What's he holding? Is he holding jerky? What's he
I think
holding?
so? It's either that or tufts of grass.
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. Tap! So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
Oh,
Oh, it is jerky!
He's chewing the leather.
I only got one word for you, Pop. No!
We got him, boys.
Ooh, ooh. That's the wind yelling his name now. Ooh, boy.
That was order, order, order. Witness, explain yourself.
If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you, this is no joke, as murder
It's one of the non-joke crimes, Officer Marsh.
I love that has just been our running gag for
comes
the
up
entire
every
thing.
freaking time. So now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime.
To stress jerky. Ole! Please answer the question.
Toro, Toro! Ándale!
Did I use that correctly? No?
What is he,
Okay.
now a matador? That's alright. Officer Marshall, I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room because the lockers are up against the wall. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right, the only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
I want him to be the killer, yeah?
I like it, yeah.
Or the victim,
Yeah.
I guess. Right?
A heinous amount of indecision laid down.
Wait.
Yeah.
He's the victim. We're talking about Goodman being the victim.
Yeah.
At the locker. So it would have
I
been him.
believe so, yeah. I
Take
think
that.
that's the consensus,
Tap!
right?
Officer Marshall was standing right here, and the music stopped, so I think we're Gucci.
There. But that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
No, Your Honor. Well, correct. Only if the detective was actually Goodman, which he wasn't. Tap! I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection. Tap. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he
He
saw the man's
didn't
face,
see his face.
he'd know for sure.
We went
Objection!
through a whole thing about that.
Yeah, may I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it.
Huh?
As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Just like the wind blew away his poncho just then, Officer Meekins would have realized that the man was a Detective Goodman. Yes, even Officer Meekins would have recognized. Don't you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. When is this trial gonna end?
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective.
Oh, yeah? It looked like you were breaking pretty good earlier.
Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
You
Well,
already used that.
that's true.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
No? Do I?
Not really?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
Okay, good. The game knows. I'm not trying to. Okay. Whew.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. A cowboy can smell it. Oop, oop. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Is Edgeworth gonna help? Oh no. Not with that face.
Head tap, head tap.
He might help.
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
Or not.
Huh?
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics. For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Phoenix, Try thinking outside of the box.
I am thinking outside of the box.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise, but rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was open in the first place?
To hide the cloth.
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might have been discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
To hide the coat. Like, okay, this is one of those things where it's like, why do we have to have B3, right?
This is one of those situations where it's like, yes, that for ages 5 and up is coming into play.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
Sounds about right. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
This freaking coat!
Perhaps. Perhaps the video is the key to our unanswered questions.
What?
Huh?
I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
What?
Marshall, just give it up so we don't have to do this.
I just love this video.
Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. I am going to have nightmares tonight. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. There was blood on
There
it.
was blood on his coat. Yeah, so he couldn't
That's
walk
it.
out with the coat, otherwise people would be suspicious.
One replay later.
It's right there.
There it is.
E to present. Take that, Tap. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet.
Yet?
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. You don't have prestidigitation.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that. People would stop and stare, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated you all. I hope you have it now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today,
Oh.
we all wouldn't have to be here now would we?
Oh.
Tap!
I sense
I wasn't there
blame.
2 years ago, otherwise this would have been fine. But Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
Alright, seems the time has come. Had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So, the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room.
It's true.
If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Except you're going to explain that Meekins bled that much? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
Why did nobody test the blood? This is like a very common thing that we do nowadays.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation.
Oh, what? Why are he just confessed?
Yeah,
So you get to
Okay.
press things now.
When you say it,
You mean...
do you even have to ask, partner?
yeah, it's kind of my job. The SL9 incident, though.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with that transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself, one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anybody says, partner. That case is mine.
So we have a Goodman rivalry?
Maybe?
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of the investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why
Press. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
if I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. No, you did it to fool the security camera.
And the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out the lost item report.
I returned his ID card.
Did Angel Star kill Goodman?
I left it on the floor of the prosecutor's office's parking lot.
I planted that evidence. The ID card
Oh god, I had a whew.
the ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could because the rubber glove just so happened to get stuck in the door.
Either it is a coincidence, which I don't think is true because of Date's attorney, or someone else planted it. However, I do fully believe that Marshall does not like Goodman and wouldn't have been working with Goodman at this point. So I think Gant did something. Gant's just so sussy-wussy.
That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in that evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person.
He is. He definitely is.
Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I have to think a little more about his raise this year.
Aww.
Oh, no!
No, I think it's a good thing. I think he's congratulating him.
When did Edward get so much influence?
Anyway, he threw himself at me and ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
Oh, you called it, Dylan.
Sure did.
I don't know what to say.
So you knocked out Officer Meekins out and...
So, you did your research beforehand.
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner.
Very true.
I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours.
Still stupid.
If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
Yeah, so how did we get the footage, right? We thought it was a race.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
He was unconscious.
So what you're saying is, on that day...
Okay, I don't think I need to press that. I don't really care.
A heinous amount of indecision later.
I'll press it anyway, just because sometimes. Oh god.
I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is somewhere related to that case. I better take another look at the files.
Oh, we haven't looked at the files yet. We haven't looked at
maybe
the files yet.
read those files that Lana gave you.
Here they are.
We haven't had a chance
We
yet.
really haven't.
Enjoy your document.
Okay. The victims.
I see a Neil Marshall.
Is his father.
Whoa.
His brother. His son.
Yeah, that's it. That's why he cares so much.
Yeah.
And then Edgeworth didn't get him fully prosecuted, right?
I
And they had to make up evidence to get him prosecuted?
Yeah, but they still got the guy supposedly. Maybe
Right.
maybe Marshall knows that it's not actually the guy that they sentenced to death.
I don't know.
And then witnesses with Lana and Emma Skye, so that's why he doesn't like Lana. And the head investigator was Bruce Goodman, who did a bad job because they had to like forge all the evidence and stuff. So let's
All right,
present.
now what line?
Yeah.
Maybe it's this one. He couldn't stand by and let it die.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that one.
I was just like, why couldn't he let it die? Why the involvement?
I think that's it. Whoops. That's not what I wanted to do.
Objection! Your Honor!
Nope, the
Nope.
music didn't...
What do you think about this statement? Damn it!
Ah, never mind, don't listen to me.
Hmm.
But, okay, is there another line? Because it does say at the end, look at the files. All right, we're looking for a contradiction.
Clearly, contradicts the, I thought,
Nope. Dang it, I'm sorry, I ruined our streak.
It's okay. I don't care about the health.
I care about the health. I hate losing health. We're just gonna pretend this didn't happen.
No, it happened right there.
If I don't give voice to the words, then it didn't happen.
Well, I don't think that won me any points with the judge.
No, what points? You have plenty of points. They're all there.
We hope you enjoyed watching this episode of the Arcade Cabinet.
Join us. We're live 9 p.m. Eastern, Twitch, and YouTube.
If you like what you've seen so far, consider giving us a like and subscribe for more content and chaos.
See you next time.
And Meowth, that's right!
No.